On behalf of Mayor Tim Keller, welcome to...
Go to new adventures. Well, it was nice knowing the people in this state for a while, but unfortunately I got better places to be. Oh man.
Now, it's the end of the year. I usually don't discuss about crazy shit or highlights that happened. But this year, there was one event in particular that I felt like need an honorable mention as because of how crazy this event had gotten. I am talking about when I left to Seattle for 5 days to attend Everfree Northwest 2023. This was one of the craziest events I had ever attended that I had to look back to it at the end of the year to remember all of the crazy shit that had happened. And you know what? We're going to go by it step by step because this was a completely unforgettable event for the record books. Now, before we get moving on to the rest of the stuff, I wanted to go ahead and talk about being properly mentioned in this year's event. Now, I have a copy of the 2023 con book right here. I actually have several copies that they were trying to distribute and get rid of. And if you guys look right here on the sponsor page in the Tree of Friendship section, I don't know if you guys can see it, but we actually made it into the high tier sponsorship range on our third event that we attended. Now, this is what's to start us on soon to come on the future clips you guys are going to be seeing, because this part right here on being mentioned in the book is what's going to lead me to be in a bunch of distraught, crazy situations that is going to be mentioned in these upcoming clips.
Look at this. This is a high tier badge made out of freaking metal, dude. It's literally, it's so freaking shiny. We hustled our asses off at our full-time job just for this. And it's honestly the most amazing thing that I've ever seen out of all the conventions that I've been to.
DJ Tonezilla, Party Flasher, Magmatic, Genesis Raptor, Heart Mender, Herbie Hops.
Yes, thank you!
Yeah.
This was the badge that we got this year, and it's made out of metal. It's like literally made out of metal. And we dealt with a lot of difficult clients just to get here. Imagine that. Imagine how crazy it is to wield around a badge that was made out of metal. Now, before we start discussing the situations with the closing ceremony with the metal badge, there is another thing that I want to bring up about a previous event that we've been to, which I hate to talk about. But there is some good news. So I recently got an email a few months ago from another sponsor, Leeson, who was coming back asked to come back after everything that went down these past few years, including the year we were there, did not happen. So I recently got an email from somebody who is a sponsor, Leeson, in California, about the event that we were at in 2022. She's going to be taking over all the high tier sponsors and the sponsorship ranges and making sure everything goes smoothly by the time we come back in 2024 for the 10-year anniversary. Now, when we were at this event in 2022 in California, we were supposed to have a celebrity meet and greet. None of the celebrities showed up. The bartender at the Hyatt Regency was talking all this shit about basically, oh, I had to have a ticket or some type of proof to get food and drinks that were supposed to be provided, which never happened to me. And the event in California pissed me off so bad to the point that I walked out of the closing ceremony and I was slamming doors and I wanted to go home.
Usually I don't do this, but this is what I have been thinking lately of California.
So much misleading, so much of the staff jumping my case. COVID-19 restrictions, you name it, dude. I honestly don't know if I'd be back. All in all, when the convention gives you just boot up Horizon 5 and just say this goddamn trip.
All of those combined off of all the stuff in California that happened last year, I ended up skipping over the event this year, and I went to the event in Seattle, and I'm completely speechless on how every single crazy thing went down on an entire weekend basis in Seattle. We got to have celebrity meet and greets. We had food and drinks that were provided, and I was properly respected and wasn't treated differently. Now, during the closing ceremony, when they mentioned my name, I said, yes, thank you. Because last year in California, I felt like I was walked on and treated like shit. I really did.
Hart Mender, Herbie Hops.
Yes, thank you!
Yeah.
So this next part, I think you guys should probably buckle down your hot chocolate and throw a little bit of marshmallows on top, maybe some sprinkles on it. Because this part, I'm going to talk about the VIP event and a specific voice actor that we ran across that literally made me cry all the way to departure flight from Seattle, Tacoma. Now, we're going to talk about the VIP events first, which unfortunately had no photography or videography allowed, so we're just basically going to have to do a word-by-word situation. So, when we had the VIP events that had happened, they actually happened. And this was the first ever time that I had actually been in an area with a whole bunch of Hasbro and Netflix voice actors and whatnot. And the bowling event, not really much happened. But when it came down to the VIP, like, all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet experience, I cried.
Let's kick some ass, old friend. Let's go have some dinner with some Netflix celebrities and kick some ass, old friend.
I was sitting at a table with 3 different Netflix voice actors. Jenna Warren, Joshua Graham, and Anna Sani. I was literally sitting at the same table with these people, having discussions with a whole bunch of Canadian Netflix voice actors. And we were having the greatest times of our freaking life. Now, of course, you know, during the VIP event, I did some dressy casual type stuff. Threw on a suit coat, put on some nice cologne, put on some good clothes. So just to give you guys a little taste, I ended up looking something like this at the VIP event with the good old suit coat, some good cologne, some good deodorants. I ended up bringing a bottle of like Crest mouthwash to wash my mouth out before I started the VIP event. So I ended up looking something like this, you know, like a little dressy casual, like I'm going to the Oscars or something. And the whole time during the VIP event where I dressed up like this, all of the voice actors, they were complimenting about how I looked. They were talking about, oh, he looks all so fashionable and he looks so nicely dressed. And even Tabitha St. Germain was there. And she was talking about like my cologne and the way I was dressed and everything. Which, being in a VIP event like that, I have never experienced that type of like vivid hospitality coming from a bunch of higher up people that either work at Netflix or Hasbro. And honestly, I think dressing up like this for the VIP events was a good cause and a good call, because there was a lot of crazy stuff that had happened that night, to the point where shortly after the VIP event had ended, I went straight to my hotel room and I fucking cried.
Holy dude, it actually happened. I can't believe it. And it actually happened at some point. It actually happened. Holy Because last year in California, I got lied to, I got treated like I was looking forward to a lot of events that never happened. Like, I didn't want to be there last year. I skipped over that event this year. I go to a different one. And everything that I was hoping on happening actually happened. I was actually sitting at the same table with these people.
But this was too much of a crazy event to forget, and I ended up having one of those moments where my mind ended up having like a digital mind recorder type segment. I don't know what the hell you want to call it. The person responsible for signing this on my artwork. Now, between me and this person, we had some crazy things going. Like, we literally had some pleasant conversations at the VIP tables. We said our final goodbyes at the days of the closing ceremony. And just some of those good memories had pretty much fluctuated, you know, to even leaving Seattle Tacoma International, to the point where I didn't want to come home. And truth be told, is about a week after I came home from Seattle, a car had gotten stolen. Not even a week back in state. And a coworker's car had gotten The other thing I forgot to mention is when my coworker's car had gotten stolen, the response time of the police in the state is ridiculous. It took almost 8 hours for one officer to respond to a report of a stolen vehicle. 8 hours. But either way, the good times will never be forgotten. And you know what? I'm in the works of talking about coming back to this event. So you know what? May the good times forever linger around, physically or mentally, because I've never been at a crazy event as inspiring as this. And it's all thanks to one specific individual who made my entire weekend. May the good times never be forgotten. May the good times never be forgotten.